and we've had our ups and downs, but at the end of the day, I mean, I think we do, I'm going to cry again. I think we do have a really, special relationship, and you know, I would always be there for him, and I know that that he would be the same. And I know that there's been some catty remarks and things that have been said by him and, you know, by me, but you know, I don't want the public jumping on him because you know, he has, in my times of struggle and times of pain, he has been somebody there that has
wow.
He has been somebody there that's been really important and special throughout my life.
That's a clip of our friend Sarah Fraser's hit podcast, which is all over the news right now after she landed an exclusive interview with former child star Drake Bell. This is following the bombshell ID documentary Quiet on Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV. And as you saw just there, it was an emotional interview to say the least, and we are so glad to have Sarah join us this morning. And Sarah, I have to give kudos to you for handling this interview, for scoring the interview with such grace, humility, and also a well-researched grasp of the matter. So I want to begin with, how was it that Drake chose you and only you to share his story?
Yeah, well, we have kind of a mutual contact in the two of us both do. We know this same person. And when I saw this documentary, I reached out to that person. I had never met or spoken to Drake prior. And I said, you know, is Drake thinking about talking to the press? I mean, Quiet on Set, if people haven't seen it, I mean, this documentary is so explosive, especially if you liked these Nickelodeon shows as a child, you know, Drake and Josh, The Amanda Show, so many, all these shows that a lot of kids grew up watching in preteens. And so the friend reached out and, you know, Drake, yeah, I mean, he kind of listened to, I said, look, I've dealt with serious topics, you know, thanks to all my experience with Fox 5 DC. I love you guys. You guys taught me so much. I said, you know, I've handled sensitive topics and I would love to talk to you. So it actually, he had said to me, okay, I'll sit down with you, but only for 20 minutes. And then we ended up talking for about an hour and 15 minutes. And he really, really opened up. It was just one of those situations, Marissa, I know as a journalist, you've been there where, I don't know, sometimes you just get the right place in the right moment and someone trusts you. And since then, I've heard from his people and they basically said, look, he just really felt open with you. And he goes into a lot more detail on my podcast about this incident that happened with Brian Peck and how he feels about Nickelodeon's response to this. And this documentary is so, I mean, unbelievable. His father sits down and had this feeling that Brian Peck was not a good person and was going to do something to his son. And then Brian and some other forces on Nickelodeon were kind of able to separate father and son, and Drake started hanging out more with Brian. And so he goes into a lot more detail about that, his friendship with Josh Peck, other Nickelodeon stars, what they had to deal with, and you know, his own struggles. He's had some very public issues, including a child endangerment charge of reaching out to and having contact with a minor. And he talks about that. And that's actually, there was a lot of misinformation about that. He did plead guilty. And there's been a recent retraction by some well-known newspapers in regards to that if he was a sex offender. So he really talks everything. And I think it's such a cautionary tale for these kids that become child stars.
I watched the documentary, all of it, Sarah, and I have to say there were moments that were so alarming and disturbing. I had to rewind my television because I couldn't believe what I heard. You know, there's a lot there, and I'm disheartened to know, according to Drake, that he hasn't gotten a real apology from Nickelodeon, even though the person he accused has served time for abusing him. Was that one of the highlights for you in the documentary as well as your interview?
That and, about 50 people, 50 very famous actors, some of them actors, producers, writers in the business, wrote letters in support of Brian Peck. Now, what's significant about that is they wrote these letters after Brian had admitted, he pled guilty, by the way, to abusing Drake. Now, at the time, of course, Drake was anonymous because of his age, but he actually pled guilty. And in spite of that, a lot of these famous actors and actresses wrote letters in support, and to this day have never reached out to Drake to say, oh my God, I had no idea. Maybe they thought Brian was really their friend or Brian had said something. I think that part was shocking. I don't know. I mean, we've all worked for corporate, and so the Nickelodeon response is not so shocking to me, honestly. I mean, it was to Drake, but I think, when you're a corporation, there's so many things that you're trying to protect. And I know that's sad, but I wasn't that surprised to hear they had a very crafted, well, we're sorry for your trauma. And, but I don't think at this point they can admit any fault. Right. So and I don't know, they claim they did not know. So I can't, speak for them, but I wasn't shocked by that, but I was surprised that he hasn't heard from anyone personally that wrote those letters to say, I'm sorry,
So what's next, Sarah? I mean, are you going to continue to reach out to some of the actors featured in this documentary? Because clearly you have the world's eyes right now on your work.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to, if I was waving a magic wand, I would love to sit Drake and Josh Peck down. They were the co-stars of Drake and Josh. And Drake in my interview really tells people, stop coming for Josh Peck. There's so much behind the scenes you guys don't know. We've been friends for such a long time. We started working together when we were 12 years old. So I'd love to be the first person to have those two sit in a room and really talk about their experience on the show, their highs and lows of friendship, and how they are navigating things today and what they both want. So that would be my dream. I would love to talk to other actors and actresses, because everybody has different opinions, about what happened and different experiences there. So a little bit of that, and that would be my dream situation.
All right, Sarah, well, thank you so much for sharing with us. We're certainly proud of you and look to learn more through your work. I know you're working incredibly hard out there in LA on your show, and I implore our viewers to check out the Sarah Fraser Show wherever you can catch and watch your podcast. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Marissa. Good to see you guys.
Absolutely. You as well.